joined to talk a little NFL with Jason Cole here. Jason, how are we doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, we're just trying to hang in there. There are so many places to start, but you've a historian. You've covered this a long time. How confident are you that you think that there's a handful of teams, a team, multiple teams that could win 3 games in a row to get to the Super Bowl, where you'd say, you know what, seedings may not matter? Like, would you ever try to make the case?
The seedings don't matter. Where they don't need home field.
Who do you are you confident anybody can win 3 in a row?
Well, I'm confident. I mean, somebody has to,
right?
So, no, I'm not really confident. I mean, I think the Rams, because Stafford's playing at such a high level in a year where so many teams are weak, right? Like, so I made this argument before. Everybody's talking about how good is Drake May, like how great has he become? It's like, look, Drake May is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. But he hasn't elevated himself into like Manning, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers at his peak kind of level. What has happened is that the norm has regressed, right? Like the great players, like Mahomes is not as great this year because he doesn't have a lot of help. He's still a great player. You can see the decision-making what he's trying to do, but things are really hard for him. Lamar Jackson has regressed because the team has made it really hard and he's gotten hurt. Josh Allen has obviously still had moments. He was great yesterday and done some amazing things during the season. But, they're not very consistent. So when the field is not as high caliber as it once was, Drake May stands out even more, if that makes sense. I mean, again, very good player. I'm not trying to say he's not good. He's just not, like, I don't buy into him being one of the all-time greats. Okay, like I'm not seeing that. And it's also a year where Stafford, has been playing great football, and he sticks out. So you say, okay, in that scenario, I see the Rams is capable of winning 3 straight on the road because their quarterback is so good and the coach is so good and the talent is very good. Maybe not great talent. Outside of them, I don't trust New England.
I mean, seeding, it's going to be critical to get a bye, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially a team that has a cold weather advantage the way they do. That's a big one, and we'll see how Drake May plays in that kind of cold weather. But that's a huge advantage for them. If you go out and you go west, you go to Denver. Like, do I trust Bo Nix? No, I trust the defense and I trust the coaching staff between Vance Joseph and Sean Payton to come up with really great game plans. But Bo Nix, 3 straight games in a playoff situation? Like, I'm not trying to say he's a bad player, but he's not a guy who I know every single week is going to make great decisions. And so that's where I have, and it's going to, like yesterday was more of a struggle than it needed to be. Because he's just not that great a player. That's my view of it.
All right. So, and they may be on opposite ends of the spectrum, but I'm curious to get your vantage point. Who's closer to their record then as division leaders? The Broncos at 11-2, or Tampa Bay at 7-6?
Well, it's neither. I mean, like Tampa should be, a 9-win team. They're not right now, but they should. Like their talent portends to a team that should have 9 wins, maybe 10.
Okay.
Right. So, and Denver's probably actually closer when you assume that the field is not so good, because their defensive talent's really, really good, and they do have other players. I put a lot on the quarterback, but they do have good offensive players. like they have got, the receivers are pretty good players. Their offensive line is a pretty good unit. The running back position is pretty good. It's just nothing stands out as electric. Whereas, like, when you look at the Chiefs, the inverse, the quarterback is electric, but the talent around him is just has fallen by the wayside, especially the running game, where they don't make the life easier for him. But to stay with Tampa and Denver's probably a little closer, but they're like 2 to 3 games better than they should be. Tampa's 2 to 3 games worse than they should be.
Jason, when you look at who you trust, who you don't trust, obviously that was a pretty short list. How much credit do you give Philadelphia for just having done it before versus what you see this year?
Not a lot, because the guys who were there, well, I mean, you got to be realistic. I mean, like, no, they're super talented, right? The problem is that, the immature guys are the ones who are in charge now. Like the A.J. Brown, there's no Fletcher Cox and there's no Jason Kelsey anymore to stand around and go, cut it out. We got to play.
Which had to be why Brandon Graham was like rescued, right? Like they need some of that.
Right. They need that guy. Brandon Graham's not a good enough player to do that.
No.
I mean, and I'm not trying to diss his career, but he's not Fletcher Cox and he's not Jason Kelsey. He's the third wheel. So you brought the third wheel back to be the first wheel in that sort of maturity, triumvirate to tell guys, hey, cut it out. Jalen, cut it out. Play like a professional. You brought Brandon Graham doesn't have the gravitas to go up to Jalen Carter and tell him that. Fletcher Cox did. Jason Kelsey had the gravitas to walk up to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts to a certain extent and say, cut it out. Be pros. Or at least set the table for this is how we act as professionals. They've lost that over time. And, can you get it back? Yes. It's just hard when your best players are knuckleheads. And their best player, Jalen Carter is a knucklehead. There's no way around that. And
although when he doesn't play, the stark contrast in their defense is staggering for a knucklehead.
Well, I mean, he's a knucklehead. I mean, he can play now. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Dude can play. All right. But the dude can also spit in the face of an opponent on the first play of the game and get kicked out because he's done it. Right. Yeah. And he can shut it down and not pay attention when you need, like, he doesn't know, like, you have to act like a pro all the time. And he doesn't. He's just not that guy.
All right. It's a tough league, and I never want to poo-poo winning on the road. But with wins at the Steelers, at Arizona, at the Cardinals, Jacksonville now looks like a good win. They won at Washington without Daniels.
I was thinking, do you really believe that Jacksonville's any good?
I don't know. I'm gonna get to them because I ask our experts every week: is Jacksonville good? They won at Tennessee. They won at Atlanta. Is Seattle good?
The three of us could go up there and win. What are you talking about?
Is Seattle good with those road wins, Jason?
You don't know this about me, but I can sling it.
Well, so can I. I can't move, but I can sling it. But I can stand there and throw a ball a long way.
Is Seattle good?
They're good. They're really active on defense. I mean, Smith and Jigba is a stud and a half. I'm like, he's just a stud. Walker's a good, solid player. Offensive line is better than it has been probably for a decade. like Sam Darnold, I don't trust Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is still that same dude who freezes up at a critical moment and will make a critical mistake. I think he's the guy who doesn't process quite fast enough in a critical moment. So when you're talking about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and in the course of a playoff game, you have anywhere, if you're playing a really great game, you have 3 of those plays where you have to execute 1 or 2 of them to win the game. If you're playing a mediocre or poor game, you've got 5 or 6 of those plays. The tougher the game, the more you have of those plays, right? And if you're asking him to make 5 or 6 of those, it's like Mark. There's a lot of Mark Sanchez there, in those moments where there's just yips. Now I think that Darnold's come along a lot further as a regular season quarterback to overcome that. Like he's a better player than Mark Sanchez was and ever was, but in playoff situations, I just worry. Like Dak Prescott has that. Like I've always said, Dak Prescott will throw 1 critical interception in a 3rd down situation that you just can't afford to have. He'll make that 1 big mistake, and that's what separates the truly greats from guys who are very good or average to very good. They can't quite make those plays.
All right, Jason. So I want to go through a handful of teams here with you, and I want you, kind of in light of this conversation, I want you to tell me what their limiting factor would be from winning 3 games in a row. Okay, in the playoffs.
This is easy.
Yeah, we can do rapid fire here. We sort of talked about the Patriots. Is it Drake May in your mind, the limiting factor?
No star power.
Okay.
There's not. I mean, there's no. Trayvon Henderson's a good player, but do I believe that he's an electric guy can take over a game? Do they have any wide receiver who can do that? No.
Buffalo Bills.
Run defense and defense overall just puts them in too many bad situations.
Broncos is Bo Nix. We already talked about that one.
Yep.
Eagles is maturity.
Eagles is absolutely 100% maturity, and Jalen Hurts runs too limited offense. Also, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not a guy that anybody wants to rally around. I mean, he's a little bit of a selfish guy. That's part of their problem. Is the quarterback also doesn't have the gravitas to go up to A.J. Brown and go, I'm going to throw it to you when I want to throw it to you, and you can shut up. Like, that's what quarterbacks need to do. Like, Tom Brady used to do that with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Because Mike Vrabel in practice would sit there and go, like he would wave his arms, and Brady, like he's open when they would practice, that short yardage play where Vrabel would come in. And Vrabel would wave his arms, and Brady would walk up to Vrabel and go, don't ever wave your arms ever again, or you're never getting the ball. I know who to throw to. You sit there and just get open. You just play dumb, okay? That's what we do. And quarterbacks have to have that.
Green Bay Packers.
It's interesting.
Good offensive weapons. None of them I trust to have to make a critical play. Like, who's the guy that, when it's 3rd and 8, who's the guy you're depending on to get open?
Houston Texans.
That's offensive lines. Yeah.
All right, last one.
Like, I don't trust the offense to be good enough 3 straight weeks to score enough points.
Huh.
Last one. Chargers.
I was going to get to them.
Ooh.
I think they could be pretty good if they got healthy.
They can be really good. They have the perfect mentality. The problem is the consistency of their offense is not, shocks me that it's not there.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think it's the running game for them. Their running game is not consistent enough to make the game easy for Justin Herbert.
So if Hampton is healthy the rest of the year, that potentially alleviates a decent amount of that?
Yes, that does. If he's A, healthy, and B, productive. I mean, like this, there's being healthy and actually being productive. Yep.
So out of those teams that I gave you, which of those limiting factors bothers you the least?
Chargers, because I think it can be overcome the best. I would say that. Eagles, just because with the Eagles, I do think there's a point at which they can, and this is hard, but because they've been there before, they can sit there and say, we're going to flip the switch and we're going to play hard because it means something now. The issue with those guys is I'm not sure how much it matters to Jalen Carter.
Huh.
Like how much
the actual outcome, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
Like there's the guys who are like the truly great athletes in this, in all of sports and football especially. Like it's really important to win and be good. Like that's what they crave. They hunger that. I don't know what Jalen Carter craves because again, he's had too many moments where it's like, yeah, if I play today, great. But, if I want to come out and, destroy you, if I feel like it, I'll do it. But sometimes I don't feel like doing it. Like, and that's how you get kicked out of a game on the first play. Because it doesn't matter to you enough to keep your head. Because, like, what can somebody do to you on the first play of a game that pisses you off that much that you're going to get kicked out for something stupid like that? Like, seriously, dude, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I worry about guys like that. But, if Jalen Carter decides, I'm coming out and I'm going to terrorize the entire league for 3 weeks, but, you can do it. You can be Joe Green.
Now,
right, where they're doing commercials about you being.
And maybe this question is just because I'm a Steelers fan and I've seen that we can't get the quarterback spot right. So you can say, I think if any of these guys should stay where they are, or if any of them are intriguing enough where you'd like to see them with a new address. But let me give you 3 quarterbacks, and one of them has won 4 in a row, and the other's won 5 in a row. But some around the league say it's in spite of them. If I give you Kyler Murray, C.J. Stroud, or Trevor Lawrence, does any of them intrigue you with either a new OC or a new team, or is there one of those guys that you like? Just give them this. Can any of those guys benefit from change of scenery to change the trajectory, or how do you look at those 3 young guys that got paid pretty early?
C.J. Stroud, I think it matters to him to be really good. I think he cares. I think he'll work. I think he works hard at it. So he's by far number 1.
Okay.
I think Trevor Lawrence, I do think he's an earnest guy that has a fatal flaw. Have I ever told you guys that story about Trevor Lawrence remembering a play?
No. Do tell.
So, and Kyler Murray, we're not even talking about because he's useless.
Wow.
It's over for Kyler Murray. Like he's done.
Certainly in Arizona, but like you mean in general?
No,
you're talking to the one Kyler Murray apologist left on the planet over here in DB.
No, I'm just curious.
He's just stop. He's done.
All right.
Wow. I mean, just let it go. I mean, no work ethic, doesn't care, doesn't just got paid. He's only ever been about the money because his dad's the only thing his dad ever cared about was the money. It's like it's not about being great. It's about getting paid. And he got paid, so he didn't care. And he got hurt. And legitimately he did get hurt. So there are some things that you forgive him for, but not enough that I trust the guy. Somebody else can have that.
Wow.
The Trevor Lawrence. All right, here's the Trevor Lawrence story. So he's coming out for the draft. and he's doing interviews at the combine. And during the interviews at the combine, and hold on one second. So they ask him, like, if you know really great players are really good at remembering every single detail, everything that happened on a certain play. They have photographic memory. They can analyze. It's, they're amazing at it, right? And they can tell you minute details about every play, and they can tell you about where all other 21 guys are on the field, right? And what happened. They can dissect it all. So you do that with Peyton Manning. He goes through it. Aaron Rodgers will go through it. This guy will go through it. Like, the really, truly greats are awesome at that. So a bunch of scouts from one team are sitting in a room with Trevor Lawrence, and they say to Trevor, hey, take us through this play.
Did we lose him?
We lost him? Oh, man.
I was about to hear about my guy, Trevor Lawrence. I was excited. I was on pins and needles.
Kyler Murray. Just drop it.
He's useless.
Kyler.
Useless is like one of the meanest non-profane things you can say about somebody.
It is. It's like when somebody says worthless.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot have redeeming qualities, but when somebody says, like, worthless or useless.
Worthless is meaner, but I think it's intended to be meaner. Useless is, like, indifferently really mean.
Oh, shoot. All right, Jason, we lost you with the Trevor Lawrence. I'm still laughing at the word useless for Kyler Murray, but that's okay.
So they're asking him to Trevor Lawrence to run through a play. That's where we lost him.
They ask him to recall the play, break it all down, tell him what happened on this particular play, and so they start to do it, and he goes, "Yeah, I don't remember that play." Well, like, what do you mean you don't remember that? You can't take us through it, man. It's kind of a critical play in the game. You don't remember it? Yeah, I don't remember the play. and it's not because he's lazy. It's not because he's a bad guy. It's not because there's something wrong with his work ethic. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to, like, he's good at all those things. There's a chip that's missing in the construction of the computer that makes him a quarterback, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's that part of it. Like, golfers are amazing. Like, golfers can go through and they can tell you on a specific shot, like, I saw this part of the tree, I couldn't get it, whatever it was, like, I was trying to get, great athletes are like that. LeBron James can say, I saw this pass here, I made the bounce pass because this guy was cutting across this, and it was all happening, incredibly fast motion, right? Yeah, right. It all happens, but they can break it down slowly. Trevor Lawrence, like, I don't remember the play. And he's like that. And when you watch him play, and let me just say this: the importance of that is when you see another situation that's just like that later in your life, because you're going to see the same situation.
You'd like to be able to process through it.
Well, it helps the processing because it makes the processing go faster. Say, oh yeah, this is what I do, and then this, and this. Oh, this part's different.
So it's like he's seeing everything for the first time every time.
Yeah,
I get it.
And you're right. And then when you watch Trevor Lawrence, there are certain plays during a game where it's like, dude, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
And it's not because and it's not because he's a bad guy or he doesn't have ability. But it's like he throws a ball someplace and it looks like the first time he's ever done it.
Yeah. That is
and you just sit
amazing.
There. right?
Because you can see plays
that makes total sense.
where it makes total sense that you're describing it that way.
That it looks like he's seeing it for the very first time.
Like, what are you do? It looks like slow. It's like slow motion bad stuff. That's what it looks like.
Right. It's like it's a 3rd and 5 where they're playing. It's a 3rd and 5 in the red zone where they're playing. A quarters coverage and this and you throw a ball there and you're like, dude, what?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting.
What? Why? And that's when I watched Trevor Lawrence. And again, he's not a bad teammate, right?
Mm.
He's not a bad. He says the right things. He does the right things. He shows up early. He leaves late. He does, but there is just an element of processing that is missing. And I don't know if you get that. Like, I think that there's a point in time in Trevor Lawrence's career where he could win a title, right? It all comes together, and maybe he gets it after so many years of doing it. But, every year that goes by and the same things happen,
yeah,
you just sit there and go, yeah, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. All right.
And that's why I take C.J. Stroud, because I think Stroud can do that. And look, I know we're making a joke out of Kyler, but a joke, but like, I just don't think Kyler cares. Plus, the other thing is Kyler depends so much on his legs to be a player, and that goes away. Like, that just, you can't be you can't be small and slow at quarterback.
If you had to pick today, I'll get you out on this, JC. Who's in the Super Bowl? Maybe the Rams, from what I can gather from you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams on that side, because I think like they can go into Philly and win, right? Like they almost did last year.
Yeah.
So like,
and gave it away against them this year, even though it was at home.
Right, and I don't think they're going to have to go into Philly, but that's how good they are. Like, they can beat anybody anywhere.
Mm.
So Rams, and let's go on the other side. God, the Patriots would be so boring. God, that would just be South. No. North. No. It's got to be. I'm going to have fun and say, I'm going to say Chargers. I'm going to be Chargers Rams in a Super Bowl.
There we go.
So that
would be so much. I mean, Denver. I'm leaning towards Denver. Really should be the pick. So it really should be Denver against the Rams. That'd be the number one. But I want Chargers Rams because I want there to be this fight among people who live in Studio City about which is the better team.
Yeah. And people forget the Chargers are 4-0 in that division right now.
Yeah, and like the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh knows how to win football games, right? Because he understands it's about toughness. And so does Sean Payton. I'm not saying Sean Payton and a lot of other coaches are like that. Dan Campbell, certainly knows that. Sean Payton knows that. Mike Tomlin knows that. John Harbaugh knows that. Yeah, but Jim takes it to an extreme. I mean, and this is my favorite story about him from when he coached at Stanford, which I was at the Notre Dame Stanford game on Saturday. Not for very long, but I was at the Notre Dame because the Stanford team wasn't in that game for very long either.
Jeez.
We were just bad. God, we were so bad. Anyways, so I was there and I was talking with a bunch of the ex-football players who were at a tailgater beforehand. I go, my favorite story about Harbaugh that I ever heard was they were practicing for one of the bowl games. I don't know if it was the Rose Bowl or the Orange Bowl or whatever it was. But he had them in a full pad practice on Christmas Eve. And they got into a brawl. And he was like cheering it on. I'm like
Sounds just like something Osborne would do, except for the cheering it on part. But the full pads, Christmas Eve,
It's
making it
Christmas
as
Eve.
uncomfortable as possible is very
Yeah,
TOS.
we want you sitting down for your Christmas dinner, feeling like completely bruised up and battered. You don't get any break on Christmas Eve, pal. None at all. So yeah, that's how it is.
I'm afraid I already got my answer. I was going to close with they're both about the same percentage to make the playoffs. Who's more dangerous? I was going to give you the Chargers and the Lions, but clearly you think it's the Chargers if you think they can get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, the Lions are dangerous.
And they're like one's like 58%, the other's like 56% to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, the Lions because they've been there enough. And Dan Campbell's got some big stones, man. Like he's not afraid of anything.
Clearly.
Not afraid of anything, right? And guys rally behind that. My problem is their defense is, like they gave up a lot of points against Dallas, just being sloppy. Like they allowed that to be a game. But and the thing about it is we always fall in love with the teams who score a lot of points because it's really fun, and you think, oh yeah, they'll just gonna outscore everybody. Like now the game in the playoffs becomes much more defensive oriented. Yeah, guys are allowed to play in the secondary because refs don't want to call cheap ticky-tack, defensive holds and pass interferences that they call during the regular season because the league wants a lot of scoring. You don't see that happen as much in the playoffs. So, it doesn't – it's happened, but it doesn't happen a lot. It's sort of like the end of the ball. I know that people will sit there and say, oh, look at what happened between Kansas City and Philadelphia, 3 years ago when they called the Bradbury call. And that was, that happens once in a while. But it happens more often like in the San Francisco-Baltimore Super Bowl, what was that, about 10 years ago now, the Harbaugh Bowl, where, the receiver, I'm trying to remember who it was.
Michael Crabtree, on the three straight fades at the goal line. I'm a 49ers fan, sorry.
It's okay. You got bear hugged on the last play, right?
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, like, seriously?
Yeah.
You're not going to call that one? Like that?
Yeah.
Like we all even agree, like, it's the playoffs, but you got to call that, right? And so, like, but that's what happens in the playoffs more than anybody else, and that's why you still have to play defense. And the problem is that Detroit doesn't play enough defense to overcome that. So as much as they're really cool and fun, I just can't go there. See, the Chargers will play that kind of defense, and they will bear hug people.
That is Jason Cole, author and Pro Football Hall of Fame selector.
Buddy.
Great stuff as always, Jason. We appreciate.
I don't know how it happened.
I don't either. Right? It's over the years, man. The chemistry, it's fantastic.
It works. So there you go. All right, guys.
We'll talk to you again soon, Jason.